Continue speaking up, continue to do what we have to do to end the war, bring our troops home, take care of them when they get home, and somehow make Iraq whole again. I don't know if that's going to be, it's going to take a while, but somehow we have to participate in that too. Continue speaking out. I will continue spreading the message of peace. I will continue sharing Martin Luther King's dream of a better America.
An activist against this war since a few months after I got out of the Army, and the entire time to me the thing was just a hollow fight. It was a losing cause, and you just have to keep fighting because that's what you do when you think something's right. And to know that we can end this war means so much to me. You know, it's not going to be the politicians that end this war. It's going to be the people of this country and the veterans of these wars that are going to end this war. We would do searches, raids. I was in an infantry unit. We would do raids, sometimes on small villages, sometimes on entire towns. And we would go through these villages and towns and just destroy the insides of these people's houses. You wouldn't even recognize them by the time we were done looking for all these weapons that they had. And you know, rarely we hardly ever found anything. And to hear that that was the same thing that other guys were going through was pretty amazing to me. And always remember that these occupations are about corporate profits and power.
That's right.
Is this philosophy that we broke it, we have to fix it. And one of the Iraqi gentlemen pointed out how foolish that is. He says something like, what an arrogant way to look at things. I mean, our culture has been around 20 times longer than yours has, and you think that we need you to fix this? You are keeping us from fixing this. It's going to take the people of this country overwhelmingly against this war to bring us out of it.
That's right.
That's right.
Sat in a desk and worked on computers, stared at a monitor for 12, 16 hours a day. So, but one of the things that I was privy to was the extreme waste of money, resources, people's time, manpower on behalf of the Department of Defense. But I worked in the computer repair shop, so we dealt with any small problem that anybody had. And one of the things that they did while I was there was they decided to order new computers and 2 20-inch flat screen monitors, among various other networking components, printers, just any peripheral thing for every single person we had on the base. And being an air base, it was a large base. We had about 1,000 people. They wouldn't give anyone the exact number for security reasons. So it's just buy everything under the sun. And that's what happened. So they just keep buying stuff over and over and over. And I was like, well, all right, whatever, I can't control that. So one of the things we needed to do was to clear space to hold this stuff before we send it out. So we go out to our warehouses that we have, gigantic warehouses, bigger than this whole room. And we go in there, and the first problem that we have is that we have so much equipment that was purchased in, you know, previous purchases within 8 or 12 months or whatever their cycle is, that we can't fit anything in there. And we go through and we look at this stuff, and it's all brand new computers of the same kind that we have, all brand new flat screen monitors, huge everything, not even taken out of the box, stacked up to the ceiling, front of the room to the back, just piled up. And this is only the last purchase that they made. The purchases before that, they threw away because they didn't have room for it. And we couldn't give it out to people because they already had computers and flat screen monitors and ridiculously nice office equipment and printers coming out the wazoo. And so, well, I say, well, why are we buying stuff then? What can we even do? They said, well, that's just the way it is. It happens every 8 or 12 months. I talked to my supervisor, and I said, why are we buying all this stuff? It's going to cost an exorbitant amount of money to do this, and the stuff we have is much, much greater than anything we're ever going to need in the first place. These were high-end computers, lots of memory, lots of hard drive space. They had excellent graphics cards, which nobody needs a graphics card for anything. These are like high-end gaming computers, basically. And he said, well, because they have money that they need to get rid of, otherwise they won't get money next year. And I said, well, what's the deal with that? And the way they do their budgets in the military is that they have a certain amount. I have no real number that they have, so I'll just say it's $500,000. They'll spend whatever they need to, and about a month before they plan for their budgets, they'll say, well, hey, we only spent $350,000. We've got this $150 grand that if we don't spend, they're not going to give it to us, so that we won't be able to spend that way since we've been here. It's been that way since we got into the country, and it'll stay that way most likely because that's the system. That's how everything works. And so we didn't even salvage parts from it. We didn't even salvage these perfectly brand new parts that we could have taken and used for anything. We didn't do anything with it. We just threw it out because we couldn't do anything else according to them. And we had to buy the stuff, obviously. So kind of disgusting. I am going to tell you about my typical day, and this is indicative of pretty much everyone Air Force side over there. I would wake up, and I would go to our squadron morale tent, first room of which had 25 high-end gaming computers networked so we could have LAN parties. The next room had a 60-inch big screen TV with premium surround sound, leather recliners, leather couches going up to multiple levels for a theater experience. And I would go in and play PlayStation for an hour before work, go to work, go to breakfast, come back and sit and play games and watch movies because I had nothing to do. And the other 8 people in the shop had nothing to do because nobody had any problems with it. You'll never forget hearing from someone that they ran over an Iraqi child and their platoon started and told them to keep driving because they just didn't feel like dealing with it. One of the thousands of reasons we need to stop this, we need to do whatever we can to end the occupation of these people's country.
I joined the Army National Guard March 20th of 2003. There's very little knowledge of what we were getting into. And I joined basically because of 9/11 and because I had always had a desire to serve the country. Shortly after joining, however, I started having real issues and problems with what we were doing in Iraq. As I started learning more and finding out more of what was going on and everything over there. Anyway, I was deployed in April of 2006, and about halfway through my time over there, throughout my whole time over there, I kept looking for something that said, despite what you think, despite what you believe, there's something to be here for. And the longer I was there, the more I realized the only thing I had to be there for was for the other people I was serving with, just kind of help them out and be there for support. But as far as the thought that we were bringing democracy or rebuilding this country for the people of that country, that hope that we were there for actually doing that faded away pretty quickly. Telling the country and telling people everywhere we go what we've seen and what we've done and what we're trying to do now. So yeah, and being at Winter Soldier with them was also an amazing event. Walking into a room with dozens of other people that are basically telling your story as well to the rest of the country, to the rest of the world, that I was there, this is what I did, this is what I saw, and this is why I'm against this war. That was a powerful thing.